The Access to Justice Clinic is one of GW's clinical programs, and it's a little bit different from some of the other clinics because it has a smaller credit load. Students enroll in the Access to Justice Clinic for 2 to 3 credits each semester. Every semester, the Access to Justice Clinic hosts a different array of divisions. And in each of those divisions, students practice in a different area of the law and are exposed to different aspects of the access to justice crisis, depending on the area of the law that they're working on. Each semester, there are up to 5 divisions of the Access to Justice Clinic, and those are taught by different faculty members, some of them who teach traditionally in the clinics, others who are adjunct professors and are practicing actively in the community, and others who are doctrinal professors here at the law school. Nuts and bolts. As I said, this is a 2 to 3 credit clinic. You can, when you apply to the clinic, indicate whether you want to devote 2 or 3 credits to the clinic. That will correlate to the amount of work that you will put into your casework, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Unlike most of the other clinics at GW Law, this is a clinic that is not graded by letter grades. It's graded on honors, pass, low pass, no credit. In addition, it's important to remember there's a mandatory full-day orientation, usually the weekend before, or sometimes the weekend after classes have begun. Check registration information to see when that full-day orientation is, and that's just for the Access to Justice Clinic, and it is, as I said, mandatory. There will also be a half-day orientation for the clinical program that you'll also need to attend, but that's a separate program altogether. Like all the clinics at GW Law, the clinic is made up of a seminar component that is the classroom and also casework. Let me talk first about the seminar. The seminar meets for 2 hours when it does meet. As noted here, it doesn't meet on a weekly basis. After the orientation, it meets on a semi-regular basis, and each of the division directors decides when those meetings will take place. They will always take place during the class time that's been designated for the Access to Justice Clinic that you can find in registration materials. The seminar component is made up of both all division sessions, where all of the divisions meet together and we talk about topics that are pertinent across the divisions. So some of the skills that we all have in common, we cover those, such as interviewing, counseling, empathy. And then we talk about issues related to access to justice and racial justice and equity that cut across division lines. You'll also meet with your division only periodically, and in those sessions, you'll talk more about the cases and the legal work that you're working on and some of the underlying law and skills that are specific to the practice area that you're working in. And as I said, the other component of all of our clinical programs is casework and legal work. Depending on how many credits you enroll for, you'll work for about 7 to 14 hours a week on your clinic work. You will be certified as a student attorney, which means that under the court rules, you are actually allowed to practice as an attorney, which really explains the difference of a clinical program from any of the other experiential learning or job opportunities that you have while in law school. In all of those other opportunities, you get excellent experience and you may well be mentored by an attorney who is really invested in your growth. But in the clinical programs, you're not just supporting legal work done by an attorney. You actually are acting as the attorney on the case. You are the first line representative of your client. You are permitted and in fact expected to give legal advice. You're the one who will stand up in court on behalf of your client. You're the one who will be drafting the legal papers on behalf of your client. You'll be interviewing the client and interfacing with the client. You will be mentored and supported every step of the way by your clinic faculty who are invested in you doing the best job you can possibly do for clients and for all of the individuals that you interact with in the context of the clinic. And they're also really invested in your professional growth. In the end, you leave the Civil Access to Justice Clinic having done work that is meaningful and also supports your professional development and your legal education.